Hi there, I'm Mike Madge. I'm back again with SailJuice.com, and today we have Vaughn Harrison with us. Vaughn Harrison is the owner of the International Sailing Academy, advertised as the best laser sailing coaching course in the world, and I can attest that it is that. And he's also an Olympic sail coach. So welcome to the show, Vaughn, and thanks for
Yeah,
joining us.
thanks for having me on, Madge. Mike.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing I want to start with, I'm going to pull up your website here. You got a beautiful website that walks us through a whole lot of the things that your courses you offer, um, the courses you offer, where you're located. So maybe you could just tell us when did this all get started?
Yeah, sure. So ISA has been a laser training facility in Mexico for 13 years now. I first came down here when I was looking for a place just to do some winter training when I was campaigning, and I was coaching at the time. So I was also in the mindset of having people come to me during the winter time so I could run clinics in a warm, tropical, inexpensive place. So yeah, I found Puerto Vallarta in 2009, and there was a brand new marina there. So we just started operating using the facilities and nice launch ramp. And then, yeah, we started doing all inclusive courses and really built it out. Kind of our philosophy is to be more of like teaching first. So although we're very like technical laser coaches, we've spent a lot of time really working on like the fundamentals of how people learn and then trying to bring that to life in these clinics. So our curriculum through the clinics are very organized. So basically like you follow a prerequisite scheme throughout the whole week that you come down. And yeah, this past year, um, since COVID happened, we expected to have low volume of travel to Mexico, which it has been. So we had a lot of time on our hands and resources to start building out some online courses. So that's kind of follows our same philosophy. We were able to basically use the same curriculum and build out courses. At this point, we have 3 upwind courses and 1 tacking course, and essentially, they're step-by-step processes of very technical aspects of each of these skills. So pretty pleased that it's there's quite a few people that are involved in it now. We've had great feedback, and we've managed to even like get good video footage of top sailors, Olympians, yeah, to showcase.
So, no, there's some of the different courses you offer. When I go through your website here and I'm looking at your website, I notice you offer a performance clinic. The one that interests me in particular is you have a downwind clinic. So, question is, how would that operate with doing a downwind clinic? It seems to me like there'd have to be a whole lot of upwind sailing to get downwind.
Yeah, actually, we don't do any upwind sailing. We take the boats behind a coach boat in the morning when it's flat. So every morning it's dead. There's no wind, and that time of year, March, April, May, you've got a nice thermal that builds somewhere between noon and 1 p.m. So after about a half an hour to 40 minutes of towing upwind, we can then do about 2.5 hours of downwind. So it's somewhere in the range of 18, 20 kilometers of downwind sailing,
Wow,
13 miles or so.
wow.
So it's pretty fantastic. And essentially, like at the top of the downwind, it's a bit lighter and it builds as you go down, which is a really nice way of learning downwind sailing because, to stage it through the periods of before the waves build, as the waves build, as boat speed then becomes slower than the wave speed, and then towards the bottom of the course, it gets really windy again when we're really close to the marina, and you'll be faster than the waves again. So it's an interesting way of like looking at the different phases of downwind sailing and learning all of them in one day.
Wow, sounds excellent. Yeah, sure beats beating upwind for a long time just to get that short downwind section. Now the other thing I wanted to ask you about, obviously, now you're open to everyone, right?
Yes, yeah. So we've got a beginner course as well that usually runs in our lighter wind season, which is a learn to laser clinic. And essentially, you can have zero laser sailing experience, and our Learn to Laser coaches will take you from zero to being able to get around a race course properly by the end. So in 1 week. So it's a pretty comprehensive laser course. Your only prerequisite is that you have some sailing experience, not necessarily laser, but we can typically do it with pretty near anyone with sailing experience. And we've had great success and really nice feedback on that.
And I also see from your website that you also bring in some, I would call guest experts into your program to help instruct.
Yeah, we try to do that as much as possible. One, because they're nice attractions. I think people like coming down to Mexico in the first place, and we try to give them reasons to keep coming down. So guest experts bring that extra little bit of flair. And the other one is it's been amazing for us coaches that live and work here in Mexico. Is when we have all these guest coaches coming through, we can't help but continue to learn and improve ourselves. So it's a pretty nice feature.
I guess one of the questions I would have now, I mean, your clientele, I mean, I've seen like you've had top Olympians train there, obviously all the way down to your average, weekend warrior type sailor. So to accommodate, how many usually do you accommodate in a group at a time?
We can do between 1 to 15. We've done groups of 15 before, but we've generally had 2 or 3 coaches out on the water when we're that big of a group. And oftentimes that's going to be during a guest coach clinic. Like I think we had that during a Brett Baer came here a couple of years ago. He's like a 13-time world champion masters laser sailor, and so he draws a crowd. And so I think we had about 13 or 14 people for that. But we can also do like multiple clinics at once. Like we could be coaching some beginners and at the same time have an intermediate or advanced or Olympic group here overlapping, because we've got multiple coaches and ribs and everything to make that work.
Now maybe just name some of the top names in the laser sport or the sail boat that have attended your course.
Sure, yeah. Well, in 2012, Tom Slingsby and his training partners from Australia and New Zealand, like Andrew Murdoch and Andrew Maloney, Sam Meach, those guys all came here. Nick Thompson and Paul Goodison came here. We've had a number of international sailors since then, and even hosted the World Championships in 2016 on our venue, which was pretty spectacular. So pretty much anyone who's been elite in the sailing world at some point has had the opportunity to sail out of ISA's venue.
So when these top guys come, like obviously there's a different curriculum for them. I would think, like, are you going out, providing them, some assistance, fine tuning some of the stuff they're doing?
Depends if they come with their own coach. Typically, some teams will travel with their own coaches. Right now, currently, we have 3 Canadian men's sailors. So they're the national team for Canada. And they're just spending at least the next month here tuning up. And it's windy season right now. So they came here specifically because they wanted feedback from Colin and I on boat speed. So our curriculum with them right now is coaching 5 days a week and being very specific with upwind and downwind boat speed techniques.
Now the one thing that's got me excited, and I don't know if this was conceived because of the pandemic, but the one thing that I noticed that you're offering now, or started offering, is this Learn Online. Was that brought out about because of the pandemic, or was this something you'd been thinking about?
Yeah, we've been thinking about it for a long time, but never had the time to do it and the resources. And I guess the ironic thing is in March last year, when we basically had to shut down the business for the pandemic reasons, it's our windy season here. So we otherwise would have been rather packed with clients and not had the opportunity to do some filming. So I think we were really lucky that we were able to have the time in March, April, May of last year to get started on it. And now that we're started on it, I think we're seeing that people are taking to it. And so we're going to try to build more time into our calendar to keep focusing on this, as well as the in real life courses, but yeah, to have a nice balance of them.
Now I can speak from experience because I've signed up for this course, and I can be, and this is being honest. I've sailed lasers 35 years. I've probably bought in every book on the market, looked at every video, and this is absolutely the best that's come out that I've seen. I mean, your guys' job, and I'm just going to take. I've opened up my subscription here, and I just wanted to take a look at some of the courses that you've offered so far. So we're looking at, so far you've done your upwind and speed and light air. You've broken upwind down to light air, medium air, heavy air. You've got the Pro Sail Coach Lecture series on there, where you had Nick Thompson do an excellent thing on his first upwind beat. And the latest one is your upwind boat handling. And maybe if I'll just open up this upwind boat handling just to give everybody an idea of what they have in store if you do subscribe to this and take a look at it. So it's quite intensive when you do see it opened up here. So you've got a whole series of videos. Well, maybe you can take us through. You know it better than me. I just follow it.
Yeah, sure. Well, it'd be nice to test you then on the material right now, right?
Yeah.
Basically, what you have is we start off by introducing the course and how to use it, and then how to interact with the coaches. So this isn't necessarily like a standalone learning platform. You have access to being able to submit videos and ask questions to the coaches online. And what we do is we use like a chat platform called Discord. And the coaches are extremely active on there. And there's several sailors that are also quite active. So there's a lot of back and forth on a daily basis. So when you get into the course, essentially we've organized it in a way that we think has the highest level of prerequisite. So the first part of it is going to be the complete summary, which is just a straight up checklist of every single thing you'd need to do in a light wind and a hiking tack. And after that, we break down what we think are the more important things. So you have to be able to do angles and steering. So you have to be able to steer the correct angles from start to finish of the tack before you start looking at, the appropriate body movements and heel. And then you need the appropriate body movements and heel before you can start looking at, how to manage your sheet properly. So each of the courses after the checklist essentially go into more detail, offer drills and checklists on the specifics of those things, so that you can move on with that knowledge onto the next course. Now, each course is designed so that you're meant to actually go sailing whilst doing the course. So if you just sat down and watched all these courses back to back, you'd probably get lots out of it. But you'd probably need to do a little bit of visualization or spend some time actually in your laser. So we give you some drills that you can do when you finish each of these courses, and then before you move on to the next one.
So maybe I'll just open one of these up just to give the viewers a preview of what they have in store if they sign up for this. I know myself, it's been excellent. Like, and the nice part is it's there. Like, you can always go back to it. It's not like a movie where it's a one watch deal. Like, it's something like Vaughn says, you follow the course, you follow the curriculum, you get out, you practice it. You have the ability to go online with Discord, talk to the coaches, send in the videos, your own videos of yourself sailing, which I think is excellent. And these guys like Vaughn and Colin, the other co-owner, do such an excellent job. Like, and I know I sound like I'm preaching to the choir here, but I can tell you, you might think you're doing things right, but if you send in a video of yourself, these guys will depict it to the nth degree. They will find things that you can improve on for certain. And I'm just going to open one up here, the tacking angle, just to give the viewers an idea of what's in store when they look at this sort of stuff. So one thing is that obviously it starts off with a video of what's going to happen. And my computer's a little slow here, but so we'll just open it up. We're not going to play the whole thing, but we'll just get an idea of
This lesson will focus exclusively on the steering and the angle details of tacking.
So now when you
points for steering in the light wind tack are a slow entry, steer past close hold on the new tack, round up during the exit, and finish perfectly on close hold. In your pre-tack, spot your exit angle and look.
So I really, I'm not going to play the whole thing, obviously, here. If people are interested, that's what the course is there for. But I really like how you break everything down. You have a checklist there. Even the tack, the way you've broken down the tack into the 4 separate components of a tack. And obviously excellent sailors. Like, who's the sailor? I think I recognize this sailor we're looking at right here. Who is that?
Yeah, that's Bruno Fontes from Brazil. He's a Pan American silver medalist and 3-time Olympian.
And then what else is after you watch the video and you get to play it, is then it goes through and you have a whole checklist. So you got a PDF here where you can go down, you can download a checklist of all the things. And if my computer cooperates.
How are your tacks coming along now, Mike?
Well, right now I'm working on my tacks on my DN right now. So it's winter time here, but I will definitely be in spring going out there. I've got lots to improve on, but this is an example of the different steering checklists that they go through on his tacking, you know, so it's all broken down nicely for you. And it broken down into all the different wind levels that you're tacking in, and each wind level has obviously a little bit different technique to it. And I just found it, that was just excellent with what you did with all that stuff. Yeah, so, oh, and the other exciting thing that you have on Discord is you also bring on some top sailors that you can interact with, right?
Yeah, that's right. We'll be doing webinars once a month. Last month we had Nick Thompson. The month before that was Bruno Fontes. And tomorrow we've got a webinar with Brett Baer. And all of these webinars, they're stored and saved on the curriculum. So on the website, if you're a subscriber, you can just have access to those at any time. So if you feel like you missed it, never too late.
Yeah, and I know for myself, watching those stuff and getting to interact. And the other component of your course also is there's a fitness component to it.
Yeah, so Bruno is he's on the Discord, so people ask questions about fitness that he's around, he'll answer. But he also has a personal service that he offers. So he does personal training, virtual personal training for laser specific. So that's an option if people want to get involved. They can join and have access to that.
Well, like I say, I know for myself that it's been invaluable. I mean, I wish I would have had this 40 years ago when I first started getting into laser sailing. Well, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job on that website and with your course, and it's really appreciated. And I think it seems to be catching on rapidly right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been going good. I think once we get the downwind course out, which will be our next one, we've done all the filming for it, and we're in the process of building the curriculum, and then we'll start editing. So once we start like kind of finalizing the course, I think, and having more of the skills in, like all the boat handling, some mark roundings, jibes, and then of course I think the downwind will be a big one. I think it'll be well met. I'm pretty sure. A lot of people are waiting to see how we continue to develop it. So we're excited to continue working at it and launching more stuff.